Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? It's THEMOSHOW Chicago, and we are back again with another episode of We Got That Smoke with the brother minister Louis Farrakhan. For all of you black men, black women that's out there, make sure you listen to this video and digest what the brother is saying. We're gonna jump right in this piece. Enjoy.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we give him praise and thanks for his creation, for his prophets, and the scriptures which they brought to guide human beings. We thank Allah for Moses and the Torah, for Jesus and the Gospel, for Muhammad and the Holy Quran. Peace be upon these worthy servants of Allah. I am, as a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, eternally grateful to Allah for his intervention in our affairs, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who came among us and raised from among us the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and gave him to us as a divine leader, teacher, and guide. I believe him to be the Messiah that the world has been looking for. In their names, I greet you, my dear brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. I am very grateful to Allah for the presence of each of you, for those who are in the ministry, in the imamate, those of you who are activists and leaders, and those who are just interested in knowing what we have to say. I am anxious to get this subject matter over to you, and I want you to pay very strict attention to every word. I have chosen as a subject today the divine destruction of America. Can she avert it? America is the greatest nation on this earth and the greatest nation in the last 6,000 years. But America and her people, which includes you, face divine destruction. The question is, can she avert it? In the Holy Quran, in the 7th surah or chapter, in the 34th verse, it reads, "And every nation has a term. So when its term comes, they cannot remain behind the least while, nor can they precede it." If every nation has a term, does America have a term? And if so, what is the time? A term is a time or period to which something lasts. It is a period of time to which limits have been set. Conditions or stipulations limiting what is proposed to be granted or done. So if every nation has a time to which some limits have been set, what time is it for America? And what limits have been set? In the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 18th verse, it reads, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count or calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man 666. Some translations say it is the number of a man 666. The word calculate is trying to teach us that we must ascertain the beast and the man by mathematical methods. We have to compute now what this number means. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count, calculate the number of the beast. The beast and his term has to be calculated, for the beast number is the number of a man. 666. So we're dealing with a man that has characteristics like a beast. The book of Revelations closes, or is the closing of the Bible. It talks about 4 beasts. One of those beasts more terrible than the other. And that beast was taken and utterly destroyed, and its body given to the burning flames. Now you have a beast being destroyed, and you have fire, and you have to calculate time. Now the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a principal helper in this calculation. And most of us, as black people in America, have not understood the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, nor have we understood his value to us to get us through what's about to come down on America. Now, either Elijah Muhammad is a man from God or he is not. If he is not, then we can dismiss me and what I have to say. But I don't think that you can dismiss me. And if you cannot dismiss the student, then you certainly cannot dismiss the teacher. Now, we have these numbers, 666. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us that what we are entering into now is the judgment of the present world and its order. This world belongs to the Caucasian people.
Don't know what to read? You can start here.
The number of the beast and the number of the man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the beast is a man, but the number of the beast is compared to the number of the original man, which is also on the number 6. The Holy Quran and the Bible teach us that God made man on the 6th day, I think it was. The Holy Quran, well, the Bible says he made everything in 6 days. The Holy Quran says that Allah created the heavens and the earth in 6 periods of time. So 6 is the number of the originator, and 6 is the number of the beast. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the white race is not a natural man, but a man that came through a process of birth control, through a system of grafting. You can take it or leave it. The white people are not an ancient people, they are a new people on our earth. So the first 6, which is 600, could refer to the 600 years that it took on the island of Patmos or Pilan to graft this new people out of the original. Some of the foolish among us make mockery of these teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I was being interviewed by a Harvard scholar, Dr. Henry Louis Gates, and Dr. Gates was saying how brilliant he thought the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was to craft this mythology, to get so many people to believe in this mythology. And I said to Mr. Gates, I said, sir, it's interesting to me that rather than give Elijah Muhammad credit for having received revelation, you would say he made up something that caught the fancy of the ignorant. Here's a man that went to the 4th grade of school and completed it, but he crafted a mythology that has mystified the scholars and the scientists. Now, either white people were here and they didn't come from us, or they did come from us. And their scholars are saying today that the original people are the black people of the earth. They are bearing witness to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So then if you cannot produce a white man naturally, then what was the process by which he was brought on the earth? And for what purpose was the white man brought here? This is not racist teaching. This is actual facts. And before we leave today, you're going to have to deal with what I tell you. It may keep you up all night, all tomorrow, for a week or a month, but you're going to have to deal with what I tell you today. Now look, Jesus said to the Jews, I know you, You are of your father, the devil. He was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. So if the father was a liar and a murderer from the beginning, then lying and murder was born into the very nature of the people. Listen. The island of Patmos or Pelon was a womb. And whatever goes on outside the womb affects the nature of that which is being formed in the womb. If lying and murder of the darker, saving the lighter, marrying the lighter on to the lighter, murdering the darker, saving the lighter, and this went on for 600 years until a pale people was produced. Listen, human beings, but a different kind of human being. Let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let us give them power and dominion. That's how the white man got power. It was given to him divinely, but a certain limit and term was set on the white man's rule. You can take it or leave it, but I believe you're going to take it today. Why was their term limited? It was limited because their rule would be contrary to the eternal principles of truth and justice upon which the universe is based. And since the universe is based on the eternal principles of truth and justice, no unjust world can have any permanence in a universe balanced by justice. Are you listening? Good, good. So then, if white folk created or made a world that is unjust, lies and murder and stealing at the root of this world can have no permanence in God's universe of truth. So there would come a time when this world would be judged and destroyed. We on the same page? That is attested to in the Quran, in the Bible, that this world was doomed from its inception to be destroyed. All right. So we have 600, meaning the years it took to produce this people out of the original. There were 60,000 human beings, black human beings, involved in that process. And the last 6 represents 2 things. I'll get to the second thing that it represents later. But the first thing that the 6 represents is 6,000 years. After he had gone 6,000 years, his time is up, then God comes and the process of removal of his power and authority and himself begins. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that this 6 also could mean 60 years of grace, not to exceed 70, which means that on the time of God's coming and raising up a person to warn and deliver the message, from that moment, grace begins. I'll get to that a little later, and we're going to calculate some time here. Now, the book, the Bible, and the Quran speak of judgment and the hour and the day. The day of judgment and then the hour of doom. And if you look at the hour, in the hour you have 60 minutes. And in the minute you have 60 seconds. So the man whose hour has come is the man of 6. The doom, the hour now in the day of judgment has arrived. Said no man knoweth the hour but the Father. That means the hour of total destruction. And today I would like to inform you of how this destruction will take place. And I can only pray that you and I won't be in it. Now, in the book of Revelations, 14th chapter, the 6th and 7th verse, listen to this. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. I want to stop here with you a moment, and I hope that all of you are ready to think today. Look, here's another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach. Here is the Bible. And that which Jesus was given is called Bushra or Injil, which is gospel. Here's the book, Bible. Is this the everlasting gospel? This thing. Is this Quran the everlasting gospel? Is it? How do you know? How do you know? There gotta be proof. Either it is or it isn't. If this is not the everlasting gospel, then there's a time set on these books. Well, that's a fact. But we have to know. Look, brothers and sisters, neither of these books is the everlasting gospel. And I'd like to take a moment to prove it. It won't take but a moment. In the Bible, this gospel is to be preached, right? To every nation, kindred, and tongue. But then this book says, I saw the Lamb, John talking, and 144,000 on another shore singing a new song, right? This book says, Bible, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has it even entered into the heart of man to conceive what lies beyond the destruction of this world. So this could not be the everlasting gospel. Not this. It's good news, all right, but it's not the eternal good news. What about the Quran? Well, sorry about this, but this isn't either. The Quran only takes us up to the hereafter, the door of it, but it doesn't admit us in. And this book says, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has it even entered into the heart of man to perceive or conceive what lies beyond the judgment of this world. This book takes you right up through the judgment. This book takes you right up through the judgment, but the guidance of the hereafter, where there is no term limit set, that is eternal on the other side, then there must be an everlasting gospel that will be preached on the other side of the destruction of this world. So a new book is coming. I want you to hear me. Now, brothers, sisters, Allah says in the Quran that He is master of the day of judgment. Tell me something. Why should there even be a judgment? Why? Is there necessity for it? Many of you, my dear brothers, have been before the judges. And my dear brothers who've been before the judges, you know that these judges do not judge with justice. And some of you have been before them enough that you don't even expect justice when you go. Is that right? Now, we can take our cases to court. It's natural. It's what a good citizen should do. But the judges of this world are not just judges. And because there's no real justice in this world, this is why the world is to be judged. And this is why there is a day of judgment and a limit set on America and this world. Now, what is the judgment? Judgment. When you get a judgment, what does that mean? I know you know. If anybody knows, we know. When you get a judgment, that means that a judge has rendered a decision. And that decision is called the judgment. The judgment is the ability to judge, to make a decision or form an opinion objectively, authoritatively, and wisely, especially in matters affecting action, good sense, discretion. Misfortune, regarded as afflicted by divine sentence, is also a judgment. Also, the last judgment, the final trial of all mankind, both the living and the dead, at the end of the world. So when we talk about judgment, we're talking about one, God's forming a decision. And God's decision comes down against America and against this world. Well, usually there's a clerk of the court, somebody that has to read the decision. Now, the judge, you know where it came from. but your eyes are fastened on the clerk. Well, what is it? And if the decision is against you, the question is, what kind of power do you have to overturn that decision? Now God, listen carefully now, has sent down his decision. He intends to wipe out America. I'm going to say it again. I said, God has sent down his decision. His intention is the total destruction of America. Now I know you say you're an American. And there's nothing wrong with that. Say what you will. But the question is America good? And by what standard? And if America has exceeded the limits, then the question is, after God has sent down his decision, somebody has to make it known, publish the decision. There is no appeal. Don't have to waste time. But there is a way to get out from it. It's very narrow, it's very limited, but you can avoid it. And I want to tell you how sometime this afternoon. Now, what is your position, black man, in this judgment? Whether you know it or not, you are the reason why God is judging America. Even as it was in ancient Egypt, it was the children of Israel and Pharaoh's mistreatment of them that caused God's appearance and his judgment. It was the Hebrews in Babylon, their presence and their mistreatment that caused God's judgment of Babylon. It is your mistreatment at the hands of white people that has caused God to send down his judgment on America. Now you, in your silliness, are so forgiving. White folk ain't even asked for forgiveness. I want you to hear me. White folk haven't even acknowledged that they did you wrong. They have not repented for what they did to your fathers and what they're doing to you and what they plan against your future. But God knows their thoughts, their plans, and because he knew them before they came into existence, he planned their destruction before they were born. I want you to hear me. Black people in America, whether you want to believe it or not, are very special to the Lord of creation. Not because you've been good. As you know, you certainly have not been good. But God has chosen people in the past who were not good. But he had a purpose for them. And therefore he chose them to be his people. for his purpose. You have been chosen to be God's people, to do a very special work for God. But you are all wrapped up in the people he came to destroy. You want to integrate with your enemy. You want to marry your enemy. You are in love with your enemy. So if God sends down his judgment on the enemy that you are in love with, you say, no, God, I ain't going with you if I can't bring white folk with me. Yes, this is you. Some of you say to hell with you, God. I know there's some good white people. And you start making yourself busy trying to find somebody good that you can tell God, see, you're wrong, God. You remind me of Abraham. When the angels came to Abraham and told Abraham that they were going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham said, would you destroy the righteous with the wicked? He said, well, go see if you can find 50. You find 50, I'll spare the city. He couldn't find 50. He said, go back, see if you can find 40. See if you can find 30. Then he said, go and see if you can bring me one. Outside of Lot and his family. If you can bring me one, I'll spare the city. See, God delays judgment so that his people will see that the people he has judged are worthy of what they're about to get. Do you hear me? Now, it's not an accident that in today's times, your churches are being burned down. You want to call Farrakhan Antichrist. But I'm not burning churches. I respect the church as a house of God. But somebody is burning your churches. That ain't all they're going to burn. God is going to make you cry out for the destruction of your enemy, because he's going to send that enemy to destroy you because of your unwillingness to come out of her. Listen. In the book of Revelations, talks about a mystery Babylon. A mystery Babylon. Well, there was an ancient Babylon that we know about. But John the Revelator was talking about a mystery Babylon. And according to the English interpretation, the word mystery means unknown, uncertain, obscure, concealed, a secret. Something locked up. Something that has not been or cannot be explained. In theology, it is a supposed truth, a fact of great religious import, which is beyond human comprehension. So the scholars, scientists who translated the Bible out of its original tongues referred to a mystery Babylon. Now, in order to understand the mysterious one, we have to know something about the known Babylon. In ancient times, Babylon, under the kings Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar, was the great city of idol worship and evil. She was the queen of evil, rich, and well fortified. Mystery Babylon refers to a future city or a future people. No city or people answers the description better than the cities and the people of America. Oh man, a mystery Babylon. Let's look at what Revelation goes on to say. And there came one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls, and he talked with me, saying, "Come unto me here, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." That's some pretty ugly descriptive language. The judgment of a great whore that sits on many waters. Waters here stands for people, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us. And these waters that the great whore sits on represents the power that she has over many nations and many people. Now, this whore, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and bedecked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said that this woman dressed in purple and scarlet color, sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast, with 7 heads and 10 horns, is referring to Rome. Rome was built on 7 hills. And this church that sits like a prostitute, that's what John the Revelator referred to him. And this is also what Martin Luther wrote when Martin Luther broke from the church. Martin Luther saw that great whore as the Pope. No, I want you to think today. Dressed in purple, royalty, sitting on a scarlet-colored beast. Here's a beast supporting the prostitute. And the whore sits on many waters. She has power over many people, but she holds a golden chalice, and in it is filth and abominations of the earth. Boy, that's a heavy indictment of the so-called church. What have you done? What have you done? You have used God's name as a shield to practice dirty faith, dirty religion in his name. They came out of Europe with a cross and destroyed the peoples of the earth and brought the peoples of the earth into subjection to the image of Caucasian people. Come on now. The great Roman Emperor Constantine, who became a Christian, originated the sign of the cross with a snake wrapping itself around that cross and the Latin words in hoc signo vinces. In this sign, or with this sign, we conquer. And with the cross, they went into Europe, Africa, Asia, and they gave people religion and took away the freedom, the justice, the equality, the raw materials of the darker people of the earth. Talk to me. With the cross, they slaughtered the native people in the Western Hemisphere, murdered the Carib Indians, enslaved the blacks. In the name of Jesus, you were heathens and unworthy to be looked upon as an equal to white people, so the church made you a nigger. Listen to me. Not the Church of Jesus Christ, but a false church operating in Jesus' name. And every one of us that have believed in that false church are like people committing fornication with her. You're laying down with a whore, and the whore is not teaching you good manners or good morals. You are a funky, filthy, low-down people that have been made that way by your so-called Christian masters. Is in the church. You are not a people that Jesus can accept. You are unworthy of Jesus. Do you think that Jesus would accept you? Coming to him dressed like a harlot? With the heart of a harlot? Talk to me. Do you think Jesus would accept you as a lesbian? You could come to him like that, but you can't remain like that and stay in the faith of Jesus. Not the Jesus, the true Jesus of the Bible and Holy Quran. No, sir. Do you think Jesus will accept you? Singing songs in the choir, songs of hope, but a homosexual, a wine bibber, a coke user. Come on now. Hell no. Hell no. Maybe the church will accept you, but Christ condemns this crap that's going on in his name. A mystery mystery Babylon, full of abomination and filth. She's the mother of whores. Babylon, that wicked city. Her merchant ships went to all the ports of the earth, and in her were the Jews. And she mistreated the Jews, the Hebrews. And because of her mistreatment of them, one day there was some handwriting seen on the wall. These words, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin, meaning your kingdom has been weighed in the balance and found wanting. This is America. She does some good things. I won't say that she doesn't. But she's low down and filthy. You will accept her because she's made you like she is. You are not even qualified to even say what is good anymore, because you judge good by what is good to you personally. And if America lets you carry on your filth and your foolishness, she's good. In America, you're free to be a freak. But you're not free to be a righteous person. The righteous are persecuted while the wicked can have their way. She's a powerful country, but she's very wicked. Sodom and Gomorrah looks like light stuff compared to what's going on in America. The evil that brought the flood in the days of Noah, America they look like a choir boy in comparison to the evil that we are doing. You're not out of this, brothers. You're not out of this, sisters. You wrapped up in the white man. And his aim is, if I'm going down, you are the people of God, all right, but I'm going to take you down with me. That's his aim. And I'll prove it before the day is over, and then I'm through with you. I'm through with you. And what does that mean? Because ain't no teaching gonna make you better. You so rotten that the only thing that will make you better is the chastisement of God. And because I realize that, I'm just about through teaching you anything. But I'm gonna get your blood off my hands. How is God going to destroy America? What instrument you going to use? Whenever God gets ready to destroy any people, I mean, if you can't take it, you can hit the door. It's all right with me. You can't run from this. It'll find you in the crack house. It'll find you in the whorehouse. It'll find you in the bar room. But all your crap is going to cease. Yeah. All your crap is going to cease. God is angry. He is very angry. I didn't tell you last week I was coming out because I had not planned to. But when I went home, the next day I saw something. I said, let me go and get that blood off my hands. You will not hear a lot from me because it ain't necessary. I've really done my job. This is not about entertainment. You know, I'm going out to hear my man today. Well, what am I, a saxophone player, a singer? Is that the way you see me? I'm going out to hear my man today. What good does it do if you don't hear, you don't listen, and you don't carry into practice what you hear? What did you come to hear for? We ain't begging for ears. We're trying to get a people to change their ways. And you're not changing your ways. You hear the word while you sport and while you play. And you leave me and you go right back to the crap that you're in. So it won't make you better. But something is gonna make you better. I'm gonna tell you what that is. When God sends you a warner, he always raises the warner from among the oppressed. That's his pattern, Bible and Quran. The question is, if America is going down, and she is, who is the oppressed? It's either the Native American or you, the indigenous people. And you have suffered worse than the Native American. Because the Native American can still speak some of his language. He knows something of his history. But you have been totally destroyed. And that's why God is angry with America. And you may forgive her. But I don't.
Thanks for viewing, you all. And on your way out, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and the word all to ensure that you will get notifications when I upload videos on YOUTUBE. Also, press those condiments, the like and the share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. Peace out and never give up on your DREAMS.